When it comes to independent play, there are three main challenges that we see often. First could be just a personality issue, right? Some kids are very easily entertained by themselves, while others have a harder time. It's just in the personality. So that one we'll just have to work through. The other one is an overscheduling or lack of free play opportunities. If we always are constantly thinking that we have to entertain our kids all the time, they're going to get used to that entertainment comes from you versus coming from them and have them the ability for them to have the ability to come up with their own activity. So always try to have space for some free play. Try not to overbook yourself with constant classes and activities so that you have time at home to slow down and take advantage of that boredom so that you can get some play and free play happening. The other one is if you do screen times at home. If you constantly rely on the thinking of you have to entertain your child, so therefore I don't have the time or the energy, I'm going to give you a screen, then they're going to get used to that they are always constantly being entertained from. Either you're taking them to an activity, or they're going to a playground, or they're watching TV. They don't have that slow time. So I encourage you to try to shift that mentality that it is not you who have to entertain your children all the time. That is their job. Their job is to play. They will learn through play, and that's how they're going to create those skills. Like I said on the video before, we can work towards getting to that independent play. But if you come from the perspective that it is not your job to always be entertaining your baby, your toddler, your teenager, it's going to be a lot easier and you're going to feel less, not stressed, but less, I'm going to say stress because I can't remember the word, but like that, it's falling on you, right? Your kids' entertainment time, it's always falling on you and you have to make the decisions of what to play. And the other one, which I think is the case with most of the homes, I guess that's what it was with my home, is we don't have the appropriate toys or the resources to allow them to have that free play. So if we always have toys that are the electronic ones that always do one thing instead of them being in charge of the play, like little animals or blocks and things that are going to allow them to have the resources to create their own stories, that's also going to affect how much your children can or cannot independently do. That doesn't mean we're going to go to Amazon and spend a bunch of toys. You can do a lot of independent play with resources and things you have at home, but they need to have access to those things. So a little mess goes a long way, and I don't mean paint and water, but are they allowed to move the furniture around to make a fort? Are you going to help them put a blanket over it so that they can make a tent? Sometimes we're like, that's more mess than we think, but that also encourages that independent play. So there's a balance we need to work. On our next video, we're going to talk about the power of observation. And if you have a toddler or a preschool, this is a game changer. It is going to transform the way that you see play, and it's going to transform the way you see how your child plays. So let's jump over to what we call play schemas, which are just little clues that our kids give us during free play that we can use to provide activities and set up play scenarios so that they can independently play.